everyone. Molly, Purple Door Psychic here with our next card in our Tarot Tuesday series. It is the Star. Now, the Star is always about hope. It's always about rejuvenation. It's always about renewal, about faith, about spirituality. It's always about those different kinds of things that when you see a star, you think, when you wish upon a star kind of thing. Or starlight, star bright, the first star I see tonight, kind of inspiration, because stars have always been inspiration for humans. They've always been something that we are drawn to and we see as kind of like rebirth and renewal, and also something that we see to, kind of pin our hopes and dreams on. Now, of course, when it's in the reverse, dun, 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 it's always the opposite. So it's always about hopelessness. It's always about despair. It's about, having no faith. It's about losing your faith. Really, it's about having just abject desolation kind of thing, where you just kind of feel like you can't necessarily go on, that everything that you thought was, important to you is no longer important to you, those kinds of things. So it's similar to the Tower card a little bit that we talked about last week, where, when it's in this position, it's kind of like you have your feet, the rug pulled out from underneath you. But it's also more or less like a mental kind of thing where, oh, where am I mentally when we see this card upside down? So this way, as I mentioned, it is all about hopefulness. It's all about wishes, dreams, inspiration. And this way, it's all of the reverse, just not really feeling hopeful, not really feeling too much like a dreamer, not really feeling as if you can, make it through the day. So when we see this one in reading, much like the Tower, as I discussed last week, we want to make sure that we're taking a mental health check on the people that we are doing the readings for. Because if we see this, if we see the Star in reverse one too many times, especially in the present or in the future, that is necessarily a cause for alarm. It's kind of like, oh, okay, what's going on with you in your life that we need to take a step back, and we need to see if you need to speak with a mental health professional about any kind of depression or any other mental health conditions that you might be experiencing, anxiety or anything else like that. That way they are on a better track, and that way they're a lot more mindful. And also with yourself, if you see this multiple times in your own reading, definitely take your own mental health self-check. Yeah, sorry, that's kind of a funny way to say it, but yeah, your mental health self-check, just to kind of check up on yourself and make sure that you are doing okay yourself. Like I said, I'm not a therapist. I do, however, work with a social worker, so I kind of understand the DSM-5. But unless you are a therapist yourself and you're doing this work as a psychic therapist, and there are actually some therapists out there who are also psychic, they're absolutely fantastic. Try not to bring up the DSM-5 too much, but just make sure that you are aware of some things, because when people come to you for these tarot readings, at times they do come to you for help with various things. Sometimes it's for fun, and sometimes it's for some serious issues. But like I've said before, take it with a grain of salt as much as you possibly can, unless those cards keep on coming up in the readings. But it is not necessarily anything that anybody should, immediately divorce their spouse, immediately quit their job, immediately move to a different country, any of those life-changing things to happen. Because now, as we know, when we do one reading, it's always the possible outcome of it's always one outcome of a possible future. It's not the full story, because the gods like to mess with us sometimes. So we also need to make sure that before we sound the alarms and do any scaring or any damage, that we make sure to see these cards repeatedly in readings, constantly in that 3-card spread. If you're doing any other kind of spread, it's going to pop up in different areas. But when you do the constant 3-card past, present, and future, and it keeps on coming up in the present or the future, then yes, you want to go ahead and raise the alarm bell. Sorry, just brushed out Odin and his furs flying everywhere. If you know how huskies are, they have a lot of fur. So with that being said, the Star, hopefulness, inspiration, renewal, despair, despair, despair. So I thank you for watching. I'm putting them away right now because they are being a little cheeky this morning. So thank you very much for watching, and have a blessed day, and I will see you soon.